Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Let's unpack this market frenzy around President Trump's second inauguration and his first full day back in office. We've got Market Watch, we've got CNBC, we've got some international sources here, so we're going to see how this new era is already unfolding.
Yeah, the markets definitely have a lot to digest right now.
I think so. The very first thing I want to talk about is, are we going to get tariffs? Are we not going to get tariffs? CNBC is reporting that Trump hasn't actually imposed tariffs on day one, but he has hinted at potential tariffs on Canada and Mexico in February, and we could be talking a possible 25% hike.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's something to really keep an eye on. But it's interesting, MarketWatch is reporting that U.S. bond yields are falling as treasuries rallied. And it seems like this is because there was no immediate tariff announcement.
It does make sense. The markets really hate uncertainty, so the potential for these tariffs, I think, is creating a lot of anxiety for people.
Oh, sure.
And, if we look at history and the historical impact of these kinds of policies, the results are mixed. Some sectors benefit, some sectors struggle, and it takes time for the full effects to actually play out. So with all this uncertainty, it's really hard to predict exactly how these potential tariffs might affect your investments or even, the price of everyday goods that you buy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to market reactions. And I think what we're seeing is a bit of a mixed bag of drill, baby, drill, and AI anxieties.
Yeah.
So MarketWatch highlights energy stocks like Halliburton, Schlumberger, Uranium Energy, Exxon, Chevron. All of these are rising in pre-market trading.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it seems like this surge is really tied to Trump's, focus on boosting domestic energy production.
Makes sense. But it's so fascinating how CNBC is reporting oil prices are dropping over 2% on this same policy.
Yeah.
It seems a little counterintuitive at first.
It does.
But it really highlights the complexity of these global energy markets.
Yeah.
So, Trump's focus on this domestic production, it could lead to more supply, which could actually drive down prices.
Yeah.
At least, for the short term.
Right. And at the same time as all this is happening, CNBC reports that Goldman Sachs has introduced an AI assistant for their employees.
Interesting.
So it's like a clear sign of the times, right? AI is becoming this major player on Wall Street.
Yeah.
So you've got these two economic forces colliding, traditional energy versus, cutting-edge tech.
Yeah. It raises the question, are you prepared for a shifting economic landscape?
It does.
Where, these traditional sectors and advanced technology are competing and sometimes clashing.
Right. And speaking of contrasting perspectives, CNBC highlights that stock investors are feeling cautiously optimistic because of cooling rate rises and the start of Trump's second term. But then you have someone like Stanley Druckenmiller, a very well-known investor.
Oh, yeah.
Who states that animal spirits are back in the market thanks to Trump. And CNBC quotes him as saying that CEOs are feeling giddy.
I think when Druckenmiller uses animal spirits, he's referring to a surge in confidence and risk-taking among investors. So it's more driven by gut feelings and instinct rather than pure data analysis.
Right. So it's that exuberance clashing with the cautious optimism that we're also seeing.
Absolutely.
So where do you fall on this spectrum? Are you feeling bullish or bearish right now?
I think it's less about trying to predict the market's overall direction and more about understanding all these forces at play and how they align with your personal investment strategy and your risk tolerance.
That makes a lot of sense. All right. Let's zoom out to the global perspective. Now, CNBC reports that the world's biggest sovereign wealth fund, which is based in Norway, is warning of market risks from tariff-fueled inflation.
That's a big warning.
Yeah.
This fund manages trillions of dollars.
Right.
And they're seen as a bellwether for global investor sentiment. So this concern highlights how interconnected these global markets really are. Actions taken by one country, like imposing tariffs, can have these far-reaching consequences, potentially leading to inflation that impacts everyone.
CNBC is also reporting that the European Union is stating that they are open for business with the world. And many are seeing this as them potentially positioning themselves as an alternative in light of Trump's policies.
Interesting.
And then they also report on Davos 2025 and how CEOs are issuing stark warnings about Europe's future and this new Trump era.
Yeah, these developments really underscore the potential for global shifts in power and influence.
Right.
If the U.S. becomes more protectionist, other economic blocs like the EU, they might try to fill that void, creating both opportunities and challenges for businesses and investors worldwide.
Speaking of potential opportunities and challenges, let's dive into the world of crypto, because we know CNBC is reporting that Bitcoin hit a record $109,000 on Inauguration Day. But then it fell back as the crypto market kind of cooled off. And they're also reporting that the Trump token plunged over 20%.
Oh, wow.
Melania Trump launched her own cryptocurrency.
Right.
And the Bank of America CEO even commented that the financial industry might embrace crypto if regulators allow it.
That would be huge.
It would be. So you have all of this going on. And then I think it's interesting to tie this back to the MarketWatch article about this 59-year-old with only $45,000 in their 401k who's worried their retirement is going to be a disaster.
It's a real concern for a lot of people.
Yeah. So in this volatile landscape, are cryptocurrencies a risky gamble or a potential lifeline for retirement planning?
It's a tough question to answer. You know, the cryptocurrency market, it's this whirlwind of speculation and innovation.
It is.
And while some people see it as a risky gamble, others believe it holds the potential for significant returns and a whole new era of finance. So it's crucial to understand the underlying technology and the forces that are actually driving this market before you make any investment decisions.
Absolutely. And I think that's something we're going to be untacking a lot more in this deep dive.
Definitely. There's a lot to explore there.
There is.
Yeah.
Let's move on and talk about what's happening in the tech sector, particularly with the rise of AI.
Let's do it. CNBC actually reported on Eric Schmidt's family office. They're investing in like 22 AI startups.
Wow.
Which suggests a pretty strong belief in AI's potential.
Right.
I mean, Schmidt, former CEO of Google, he has a deep understanding of this tech landscape.
For sure.
So his investment signals a broader trend, I think, of significant capital flowing into AI development.
Which raises the question, how is this going to impact the job market?
Right.
Because some feels widespread displacement, while others see it as an opportunity for new roles and increased productivity.
Yeah, it's not an easy question to answer.
It's not.
But history shows that these advancements, they often lead to job displacement in the short term, but then followed by new job creation in the long term.
Right.
So the key is to adapt and acquire new skills.
Yeah, always be learning.
MarketWatch reported that Tesla stock is continuing its Trump bump thanks to two key drivers.
Interesting.
But what I find fascinating is that despite having to scale back their electric vehicle efforts due to shifting consumer preferences, GM shares still soared 48% in 2024, as reported by Deutsche Bank.
Wow. So it seems like investors believe that both Tesla and GM stand to benefit from Trump's policies.
Yeah.
Whether it's directly through deregulation or indirectly through a boost in overall economic activity.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that the political and economic climate can really impact a company's stock performance.
Absolutely. CNBC also had this fascinating article about a Microsoft-backed firm called Mistral.
Okay.
And they're predicting that the world will move beyond AI models this year.
Really?
Yeah.
So if that prediction comes true, I mean, that could represent a complete paradigm shift in how we understand and utilize AI.
Right.
It suggests we're moving towards more dynamic, adaptive systems that go beyond the current models, potentially leading to huge advancements in fields like robotics.
Autonomous systems, personalized medicine.
CNBC also reported on the list of world leaders that are not attending Davos 2025.
Oh, interesting.
And many are suggesting this absence speaks volumes about the current state of global affairs.
Yeah. The absence of these key world leaders from Davos could signal a shift in global power dynamics and priorities.
Sure.
Maybe a growing focus on domestic issues or skepticism towards global cooperation, or even a changing world order where new players are emerging and challenging these established norms.
CNBC had a piece about Deutsche Bank upgrading General Motors.
Okay.
And stating that Trump-related risks are already priced into the stock.
So this suggests that investors believe GM is well-positioned to navigate the potential challenges and opportunities presented by a second Trump administration. And it also highlights the market's ability to anticipate and adapt to these political and economic shifts.
MarketWatch reported that Smithfield Foods, which is a bacon heavyweight, they're planning a massive IPO, valuing the company at $11 billion.
This IPO really speaks to the company's ambitious growth plans.
It does.
And the current market's appetite for these high-profile listings. Smithfield's move to increase their market share through this IPO could significantly impact the whole food industry landscape.
CNBC had a great article about Johnson & Johnson receiving FDA approval for their nasal spray for depression as a standalone treatment.
Wow, that's huge.
Right? This is a breakthrough in mental health care.
It offers a new treatment option for people with treatment-resistant depression. And this nasal spray, which is called Spravato,
Spravato.
it has the potential to become a blockbuster product for Johnson & Johnson,
It really does.
showcasing, the innovation that's happening in the pharmaceutical industry.
MarketWatch had a really helpful piece on 20 value stocks that are primed for rapid revenue growth.
This piece provides valuable insights, I think. For investors seeking to diversify their portfolios and invest in companies with strong growth potential,
Absolutely.
identifying these companies requires a deep understanding of market trends
Right.
and a keen eye for undervalued opportunities.
The Motley Fool UK had a series of articles that caught my attention,
Oh, cool.
and they cover a wide range of topics, from passive income ideas to the potential for corrections in the S&P 500.
The Motley Fool consistently delivers insightful analysis and practical advice, catering to investors of all levels of experience.
Right.
They offer a balanced perspective, highlighting both the potential rewards and the inherent risks of investing.
I especially liked their article on how to avoid two common mistakes that investors make with dividend stocks.
Yeah, that's a valuable reminder, I think.
Yeah,
That even seasoned investors can fall prey to common pitfalls.
it's true.
And it emphasizes the importance of research and due diligence
Right.
and a disciplined approach to investing.
CNBC had an interesting piece on Jim Cramer's top 10 things to watch in the stock market.
Well,
That's always interesting.
Always.
Kramer's insights, they're sometimes controversial,
Right.
but they do provide a valuable perspective on the market's current dynamics.
For sure.
And I think his analysis, combined with a healthy dose of skepticism
Yeah.
and independent research, can help investors navigate the complexities of the financial world.
CNBC reported on Ukraine's President Zelensky questioning the U.S.'s commitment to Europe's future under a second Trump administration.
This concern highlights the potential for shifts in alliances and global power dynamics, and I think it underscores the importance for European nations to reassess their strategic partnerships
Absolutely.
and prepare for a potentially more fragmented geopolitical landscape.
CNBC also reported on the European Union's statement that they're ready to do business with the world,
Okay.
which many see as a direct response to Trump's protectionist policies.
Yeah, the EU's statement signals a potential shift in global trade dynamics. They're positioning themselves as a reliable and open partner for international commerce,
Yeah.
potentially attracting businesses and investors seeking stability and predictability.
Right. CNBC had a really interesting article about merger mania in the mining industry.
Interesting.
It seems like there's a lot of consolidation happening as companies try to gain a competitive edge.
This consolidation trend reflects the mining industry's response to various challenges.
Right.
Fluctuating commodity prices, increasing environmental regulations.
Yeah.
By merging and acquiring companies, seek to streamline their operations, reduce costs,
Right.
and position themselves for long-term growth.
Raging Bull had a couple of articles that caught my attention,
Oh, cool. What were they about?
and they focused on two specific companies, Bank OZK and StoneCo,
Yep.
both of which have been performing exceptionally well in the market.
Oh, wow. Raging Bull, they excel at identifying these high-growth opportunities,
They do.
often focusing on smaller companies that fly under the radar of mainstream financial media. So their analysis provides valuable insights for investors seeking to diversify their portfolios
for sure.
and capitalize on those emerging trends.
I especially liked their article on Bank OZK,
Oh, yeah.
which has been seeing some really impressive gains.
Bank OZK's performance highlights the potential for regional banks to outperform in specific market conditions.
Right.
And I think their success demonstrates the importance of understanding local economic dynamics
Yeah.
and identifying companies that are well positioned to capitalize on regional growth opportunities.
I know I had a couple of articles that I found quite insightful.
Okay.
And they focused on two companies that are really pushing the boundaries of technology, CRISPR Therapeutics and StoneCo.
INO's focus on cutting-edge technologies provides investors with a glimpse into the future of innovation.
Right.
And their analysis of companies like CRISPR Therapeutics, which is developing gene-based treatments,
Huh.
offers insights into the transformative potential of biotechnology and its impact on healthcare.
I particularly enjoyed their article on CRISPR Therapeutics, which is a company that's developing gene-based treatments for serious diseases.
CRISPR Therapeutics' work represents a revolutionary approach to treating genetic diseases.
Absolutely.
And their research has the potential to cure previously incurable conditions.
It's amazing.
It is offering hope to millions and transforming the healthcare landscape.
Alpha Street had a couple of articles that provided some valuable insights into the earnings reports of major companies like 3M company Charles Schwab and Netflix.
Alpha Street's coverage of earnings reports offers valuable insights, I think,
It does.
into the financial health and future prospects of publicly traded companies.
Right.
Their analysis helps investors understand the factors that are driving company performance
Right.
and make more informed investment decisions.
I particularly appreciated their summary of 3M Company's earnings report,
Okay.
which highlighted the challenges that the company is facing.
3M's earnings report serves as a reminder that even large and established companies can face headwinds. And understanding the challenges that a company's facing is crucial for investors
It is.
who are evaluating its long-term prospects and making informed decisions about whether to buy, hold, or sell its stock.
Seeking Alpha had a number of articles that caught my eye.
Yeah.
And they covered everything from dividend announcements to FDA fast-track designations for new drugs.
Seeking Alpha's diverse range of contributors
That's great.
offers a broad spectrum of perspectives on the financial markets.
Absolutely.
Their in-depth analysis and expert opinions provide valuable insights for investors of all levels of experience.
I especially liked their article on Solid Biosciences, receiving FDA fast-track designation for their new drug, SGT-212.
Oh, wow. So this fast-track designation highlights the potential of this new drug to address an unmet medical need.
Right.
And the expedited review process signifies the drug's potential to benefit patients sooner,
Absolutely.
underscoring the importance of these regulatory pathways that encourage innovation and accelerate the development of life-saving treatments.
Investing.com had a number of articles that highlighted the positive performance of certain companies like Intel and Geopark.
Investing.com's coverage of global financial markets offers investors a valuable resource for tracking market trends
For sure.
and identifying investment opportunities. And their articles on companies like Intel and Geopark provide insights into specific sectors and their potential for growth.
I particularly liked their article on HSBC raising their rating on Intel.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
So HSBC's decision to upgrade Intel's rating suggests growing confidence in the company's ability to navigate this evolving technology landscape.
for sure.
And this positive assessment highlights the importance of analyzing those analyst opinions
Yeah.
and understanding the factors that influence their outlook on a company's future performance.
Investing.com also had an article on CrowdStrike,
Oh, okay.
which is a cybersecurity company.
Yeah.
And they are leading the global conversation on cybersecurity at Davos 2025.
CrowdStrike's prominence at Davos underscores the growing importance of cybersecurity. In a world that's increasingly reliant on these digital technologies,
It is.
and their leadership in this critical area highlights the need for businesses and governments to prioritize cybersecurity investments
Right.
to mitigate the risks posed by cyber threats.
CNBC had a powerful article about Trump's climate retreat, stirring a sense of déjà vu
Yeah.
and prompting a warning from the UN.
Trump's decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement represents a significant setback
Yeah,
for those global efforts to combat climate change.
absolutely.
And the UN's warning underscores the urgency of addressing this global crisis
Right.
and the need for international cooperation.
Yeah. Investing.com had a sobering article about Trump supporters who stormed the U.S. Capitol beginning to leave prison following sweeping pardons.
Oh, wow. These pardons granted to individuals convicted of crimes related to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol raise concerns about accountability
They do.
and the rule of law. And the decision to pardon those involved in this assault on democracy has sparked debate about the potential consequences for future political discourse
Absolutely.
and the stability of democratic institutions.
It certainly has been a whirlwind of information.
It really has. We've covered such a vast array of topics,
We have.
each interconnected and contributing to this complex tapestry of our world.
Let's shift gears back to the financial markets
Okay,
and explore how they are reacting to the uncertainties of a second Trump administration.
that's a great idea. You know, the markets are often a reflection of these broader economic and political trends.
They are.
So let's delve into how investors are responding to this new era. CNBC reported that U.S. bond yields fell as treasuries rallied, and it's likely because there wasn't an immediate tariff announcement from President Trump.
Right. This really highlights how sensitive investors are to any hints of these protectionist policies. Bond yields falling suggest a flight to safety as investors seek those less risky assets amid uncertainty.
It's a classic example of how those political pronouncements can directly impact market sentiment.
For sure. And it really underscores that interconnectedness of global markets
Yeah.
and the ripple effects of those policy decisions.
For sure. If the U.S. pursues protectionist measures, it could trigger retaliatory actions from other countries,
Right.
potentially leading to a slowdown in global trade and economic growth.
CNBC is also reporting on stock investors feeling cautiously optimistic due to cooling rate rises and the beginning of Trump's second term. However, as we talked about earlier, Stanley Druckenmiller believes that animal spirits are back in the market fueled by Trump's policies and this renewed sense of confidence among CEOs.
This divergence in investor sentiment creates a fascinating dynamic in the markets.
Yeah.
Cautious investors are likely focused on data points like cooling inflation and the potential for slower economic growth,
Right.
while those driven by animal spirits are betting on a surge in business activity and deregulation under a Trump administration. It's a classic tug of war between that data-driven analysis and gut-feeling speculation.
Exactly. And this tension is playing out against this backdrop of significant technological advancements,
Yeah.
particularly in AI.
Right.
Remember that CNBC article about Goldman Sachs rolling out an AI assistant for its employees?
Yeah, it's a prime example of how AI is transforming the financial industry, potentially leading to increased efficiency,
Right.
but also raising concerns about job displacement.
This brings us back to a recurring theme in our deep dive today: the need for adaptability.
Yeah.
Whether it's navigating the uncertainties of a new presidential administration responding to shifts in global trade dynamics, or embracing those technological advancements, the ability to adapt and evolve is crucial, I think, for success in today's rapidly changing world.
I think so too. We've also seen how those geopolitical events can really influence investor sentiment. CNBC reported on Ukraine's President Zelensky questioning the U.S.'s commitment to Europe's future
Right.
under a second Trump administration.
This concern highlights the potential for shifts in alliances.
And global power dynamics. It underscores the importance for nations to reassess their strategic partnerships and prepare for a potentially more fragmented geopolitical landscape.
And let's not forget about this ongoing debate surrounding climate change. CNBC reported on Trump's climate retreat, stirring a sense of déjà vu and prompting a warning from the UN.
This decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement highlights the divergence in approaches to addressing climate change.
It does.
It underscores the need for individuals, businesses, and governments to take proactive steps to mitigate the risks posed by climate change, regardless of those political agendas.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the potential impact of tariffs to the rise of AI and the complexities of global politics. It's clear that we are living in a time of significant change and uncertainty.
It is. But amidst this uncertainty, there are also opportunities.
I agree.
By staying informed, adapting to change, and making thoughtful decisions, we can navigate these challenges and create a better future.
Knowledge is power. We encourage you to continue exploring the sources that we discussed today and to stay engaged with the events shaping our world.
Until next time, stay curious.